Soy Kayla y en este video yo voy a hablar sobre un viaje que yo tomé con mis amigos a Monteverde, Costa Rica. In this video I'm going to talk about last weekend where a couple friends and I from the USAC group went to Monteverde, which was beautiful. So on Friday morning we woke up bright and early to head to San Jose to take our bus as usual, and when we got there, it was one of our most successful bus catchings. So we managed to get our tickets, and we were there with plenty of time to get seated tickets and not standing tickets. And then we got to just hang around 710 for a little bit. At 6:30 we took our buses to Monteverde, and it was supposed to be, I think, like a 3.5–4 hour bus ride. It was about 4–4.5 hours. But there wasn't a lot of traffic, and it was just a really smooth ride. And when we got to Monteverde, we just trying to kind of decide what to do. I know that I hadn't even looked into Monteverde before I went, and so I was just kind of like, whatever, everyone else is going, it's gonna be great. This is a trip that everyone takes. So I was just being really pura vida with it. And so we got to Monteverde Bar Hostel, which took us a minute to find because we walked a solid 12 minutes in the wrong direction, which wasn't that far. It was just mostly uphill. So that was exhausting. And then we got to trek back down the hill because Monteverde means like green mountains. So it's lots of mountains, lots of hills, and the walking is not very flat. So then we were walking around and we finally found our hostel and we checked in. And it was a cute little hostel. Apparently it was pretty newly open. Like the building wasn't new, but the hostel itself was like a new establishment. So that was cool, and the people that were running it were really dope ticos. We decided to go on a hike, so it's really convenient where the buses just kind of swing by your hostel. Like you'll have someone make a reservation for you, and then the buses will just know to swing by. So a bus came by a couple hours, and we went on this little hike. It was about 4 or 5 kilometers round trip, so that's a lot of walking for me. And so we were just walking, we were looking for these miradors, which mirador is like a looking point where you can have a beautiful view normally. And so we stumbled upon one dude I absolutely loved, and it was in Arenal and then Lake Arenal, and it was phenomenal. There's pictures of that in the beginning of this video. as well on my Instagram. And then after that we found another, well, it wasn't really a mirador, it was just a place where kind of the trees went down, and so you could see things really well, but it was just in the middle of the trail slash we were all too exhausted to keep walking onward because we knew we'd have to turn back. It wasn't a circle trail, it was more like a path. And so it was a really beautiful point where on the one side we could see Arenal and the lake, and then on the other side it was just these rolling green pastures that were so beautiful, and these hills, and it was just like really windy though, but it was nice because we were all hot from walking, and so it was gorgeous, and I loved it. And I'm not really a hiker, but I really enjoyed being outside. The air in Monteverde is spectacular. Like, the air is so clean there. I mean, sometimes when you're in the city in Heredia and San Jose, you just like get all this exhaust in your like lungs, and you'll be standing at the bus stop or something, and a bus will take off and a giant black cloud appears and my pores feel all clogged. But not in Monteverde. It was amazing. I love the climate there because it was just like perfect 63-degree weather with a breeze. Like, I mean, I loved it. Like, and Jolie and I decided to go out for dinner, and so we found this little cute pizza joint, and we just hung out there for a little bit. Then on the next day, which was Saturday, we Jolie and Andrea went to go ziplining, which in Spanish is canopy, which in Spanish in Costa Rica is canopy. So Jolie and Andrea went for canopy, and Lauren and I decided to go on another hike to the cloud forest, which is so beautiful. So it's another ride up the mountains past where we went the first day, and you just keep going higher up. And the fun thing about cloud forest is that it's always raining because it's in the clouds, so we got soaked, but it was so beautiful. So the time lapse in the beginning of this video, that was from the cloud forest, which I absolutely loved. And again, that hiking whooped my butt. We took like the shortest trail, which was 1.4 kilometers, and still is a lot of just climbing and going uphill because you're in the mountains, so it's definitely worth. So loved Monteverde. And then when we got back, some plans kind of got changed around last minute, so we just ended up hanging out at the hostel, which I didn't really mind because I love having a chill weekend somewhere. Like, it's just nice to get out of Heredia every now and then and see different points of the country. And I definitely wouldn't mind going back to Monteverde in the future to finish up, maybe go bungee jumping or canopy as well. But yeah, bungee jumping is more so on my list than ziplining, because I don't really want to go ziplining without David from Puerto Viejo. Like, that was kind of my ziplining pal, so who knows. But yeah, Monteverde was great. And then Saturday night when we went out to dinner, we went to this treehouse restaurant, which was so cute. I knew it was going to be a little pricey, but since I hadn't really done much else that day, I figured why not? And so we all met up there, and it's literally a restaurant built around a tree. Like, it's so cute. And it was really nice, and we had great service, and I really enjoyed my time there. So that was a great highlight. And of course, like, if you Google things to do in Monteverde, like, that restaurant's on the list, so I felt a little cool going. But yeah, so it was a pretty chill weekend in Monteverde. Enjoyed it. It was chill, except so Saturday morning we woke up, and this was when Jolie and Andrea were going to canopy, so they had to be up earlier than Lauren and I, so they were already downstairs getting breakfast, and Lauren and I are still in the room, and Lauren's like, "Hey, Kayla, there's a scorpion in Jolie's bed." I was like, what? I was like, oh my god, because I was still knocked at this point, like bonnet all on sideways, like drool, like knocked out. And so she said that I perked up, and I was like, oh, what? And then I looked, and there was a giant scorpion. Like, I've never seen a scorpion in person outside of a zoo. So I was just freaking out, and it's just roaming around freely. I'm glad that it didn't feel threatened, because that made it easier for us to like catch it. But he was just strolling around, and then we were trying to figure out what to do, and then he's like walking around the room, and he's walking over by my bed. So I grabbed everything off the floor and put it on my bed, like, please don't go through my things. And eventually, like, I was like, okay, well, I'll dump the trash can out, and then we'll just trap him under there until we can figure something else out. So then I like hurried up, did that, and then Lauren was the bold one. She's the one who really dealt with the thing, because every time I looked at it, I would just get chills. And Lauren trapped him under the trash can, and the only employee at the hostel at this point was the lady making breakfast. So we were just like, hola, por favor, ayúdanos, like, hay un insecto muy grande en nuestro cuarto. por favor. And so she was like, okay. And then we were explaining to her there was a scorpion. Why did she grab a butcher knife, like a giant? I was like, are you about to make sushi with it? So then she like went back upstairs, and then her daughter was like, oh, you get over here, and she like followed her up there, and then she came back down, and the scorpion was all crushed in a paper towel. I think she legitimately stepped on it. It was about half as big as my shoe. So I was just, or it was about as big as half of my shoe. That thing was big, but yeah, she was like, yeah, one time I got bit by a scorpion, and my arm had a giant welt on it, and I got a fever, so they can be kind of dangerous. And I was just like, thank you. Because I was trying not to be a little punk, because I'm in the mountains in a very outdoorsy country, so it's like I need to be expecting bugs and insects and aminals, and then it was just but yeah, so Saturday was busy. Before we went to dinner, Jolie and I went to go watch the sunset, and one of the other girls staying in the hostel, Kendra, tagged along with us, and that was really beautiful. Like, that sunset was unbelievable. All the sunset pictures in the beginning are from that Saturday evening, and then we just got to have a really funny conversation with Kendra, and it seems like just, I feel like I talk about politics so much more here than I ever did in the States, but she was also from the States, and it's just a really unique feeling that we were both having of being so detached from the political climate in the States, but at the same time feeling like we should be doing something, and it's just frustrating. I can't sit around and call my senators all day. That would be very expensive. I can't march. I can't, you know, so it's just a really unique feeling. We had to talk about that for a while, and I learned a lot about Greek anarchy, which sounds really cool, which is a really cool topic. But yeah, that's Monteverde. Was a chill weekend. Got some great pictures, got some great exercise. Love the mountains, could definitely see myself going back. So Monteverde highs would definitely be the climate and just the different variety of activities to do. Monteverde lows are probably that to do things. It's not like the beach where you can just bum out for free all day. You have to pay to go bungee jumping, you gotta pay to go to the forest, you gotta pay to do everything. So that's probably one of the Monteverde lows, but there aren't other many lows that I have. So I think that's all. Thank you again for watching. Soy Kayla, soy viajera. Ciao.